Welcome to Impact Tech Studio, where we feature founders turning sustainability into scale. Today, we are joined by Shailesh Ganeriwala, CEO of OG Hemp, building tree-free, chemical-free hemp paper and compostable packaging that matches traditional performance while protecting forests. Let's explore.
Hi, Arjun.
Hi, happy to have you on this podcast. It is amazing to have you. It was a pleasure to discover you as well. And it is an amazing product that you have. So I would like my audience to get to know your product and understand where you come from and get your story out and then see how we can value you over a period of time. So what you're getting into is not only a podcast, it is also an extended team that you're getting into. So you will get introduced to people if your communication is amazing with me, with people who are in your ecosystem or however we can reach out in your place, right? So we become your extended team, we fail for you, right? So welcome to the podcast. It is a pleasure to have Shailesh Ganeriwala from OG Hemp on our podcast. So Shailesh, the stage is yours. Please give us an understanding of what is OG Hemp and since when did it start? What is the story? And what products do you provide and what is your market?
First of all, thank you so much for having me. I was also very surprised after being into this hemp industry for 7 years without any VC funding. I'm still being called on a podcast, but that's okay.
Okay, that is of our purpose. It is because of the purpose, right? So, so yeah. So our purpose is to discover you guys and put you onto a pedestal and then take you into the flow, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, as I said, my name is Shailesh Ganeriwala. I'm the co-founder CEO at OG Hemp.
Right.
The idea of OG Hemp started somewhere in 2018.
Right.
Prior to that, I belong to the eastern part of the Indian country and from Kolkata especially.
Right.
So we have a different range of businesses that we were doing from the past after passing out school in 2003. So I was very actively involved in my father's business. Other than we started off with the first of its kind sustainable bricks factory in 2008.
Right.
But due to some limitations, it couldn't be scaled up because there were other mafias and other alternatives available at a very cheaper price.
Interesting.
And that gave us some insights that if you cannot scale it up fast, then you will be left behind in the crowd. And it takes time for all these things to organize, to get the viability of each of the projects.
Right.
Because every year makes the difference for an entrepreneur running on the field and doing all the tasks.
Right.
Many people on board.
Right.
So then I moved forward and started with one of the first breweries in Kolkata itself.
Right.
So it was also a new concept. That was a very amazing thing that happened to me with a very great know-hows in the Kolkata market and with each and every people around it. So we manufactured 6 different kinds of craft beer, first of its kind in Kolkata and in Eastern India as well.
Interesting.
So that was also sold in 2018 after we got all the licenses. It was one of the most prominent and happening places in Kolkata.
Right.
So this is how my entrepreneurial journey went till where I am today. So got a good sum of money.
So that brewery is still live.
Yes, the brewery is still live. That is one of the most European touch brewery running in the Sector 5, the IT hub of Kolkata.
Amazing.
But we have taken a complete exit out of it.
Okay.
As that time, our focus was shifted towards one of the finest that we are doing right now is the hemp industry, what we call it right now.
Correct.
So the idea behind was to start more something sustainable that can be scalable across the globe and can create a value. So because always with other ventures, there were some limitations somehow in terms of bricks, there was scaling up issue, which we couldn't do as we were also in the novice in the sector and the industry as well. And I was also trying to learn things by setting up first of a factory as a manufacturing unit and so on with dealing with government relations, because all these play a very major part when you step down and work as an entrepreneur with different aspects.
Right.
So this was a very gaining of knowledge, you can say. So then the idea came in 2018 where one of my friend was also living in Europe and he suggested me something like hemp. Before that, there were other purposes that we used or maybe recognized hemp with, but never got the real benefits what this magical plant can do.
Right.
So we traveled all the way to Europe, saw one or two museums in Barcelona where there were different products, maybe more than 2,000 products that were kept inside that museum.
Right.
And the idea was too that a single plant can feed you, bolte na roti kapda makan.
Right.
So I couldn't find a better product that time because the idea was to get a better product which has huge market applicability and give you a stable life with a stable income or maybe a good gross sum of income.
Right.
So as an entrepreneur, the idea is always profits over any venture.
Right.
Social effects and these add up to your values and give you more edge towards other competition.
Hmm. Hmm.
So this was the idea behind OG Hemp, and then it formed in 2000. We started off with the company in 2000, early 2018, and there were many companies at that time. We were also very influenced with the funding of Mr. Ratan Tata
Right.
in one of the premier in cannabis related companies.
Yes.
So these were all summing up, and there were many. US had already legalized hemp farming that time in 2018 with the Farm Bill.
Yeah.
And US, it was a great boom in terms of agricultural sector, making a real difference.
Hmm.
So the idea was to, if US is doing it now with the impact of or with the edge of sustainability, all the parameters, then why India will lag behind? It will sooner or later it will follow. Because seeing my past experiences in terms of brewery, in terms of fly ash breaks, whatever Europe or the Western country adapts, India might follow it a year later, 5 years later, but they have something has to happen in the entire industry, and it was totally virgin market.
Right.
There are very few players. You cannot call companies, but there are many individuals who are still working in this industry,
Hmm.
giving insights, collecting insights.
Hmm.
But yes, so this is how OGM was started, and we move forward with an idea to manufacture paper and related products.
Right. Right. So in the paper and related products, what kind of products are there? What is your final product? Yes.
So we identified hemp crop as two different versions. One is used for medical marijuana,
Right.
as we all know it, for medical benefits.
Right.
And the other part of the crop is the industrial hemp, which is used for the fiber purposes.
Right. Right.
So there, as we all listen to each and everyone, there are different 25,000 different sustainable products that can be made. So
Right.
at the end, we need to differentiate which part of the plant are we real focusing on.
Right. Right.
Because the medical cannabis and industrial cannabis are two different verticals altogether.
Right.
Because what I realized being into this industry, that after in 7 years, I have been consistently into this industry, advocating with government stakeholders, other companies, people, state governments, that hemp is still not an industry right now. There are other end products that are being made from this. We call
Well, that can defined, which are defined as industries, the products that come out of it and how they are used, right? But not your hemp in itself.
yes. So hemp is still, being in India, it has still stigma around it. So
Right.
you cannot define hemp paper or hemp medicines. We now define it as a paper industry. So we belong to one of the part in the paper industry, playing sustainable paper with natural fiber resources.
Right. Right.
There is textiles.
Right.
So earlier, what we thought that hemp will revolutionize the entire and different models,
Hmm.
which is still a challenge.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
the people who transformed themselves over the years slowly are still taking with time and making small revenues and moving forward in this direction.
Hmm.
But sticking only to hemp will not feed you, will not be able to give you revenues because other it is not a very scalable model.
Hmm.
As we still have a lot of stigma regulations, government regulations around the entire industry.
Right. So what do you want to ask the government then? So you have a thing that needs to. So for example, if there is a compliance to the processes, right? My understanding, if the process is complied and everything is through the regulations which are there, then why would you not execute it across India? Is that the one question that you want to also put to the government, or the is the question that government is not understanding the industry in the way you understand it. So please give me an understanding. What is your ask from the government?
See, there are two different perspectives. Even I was also very excited when I entered it 2 years into this industry, 3 years, and I was very frustrated also sometimes that why government is not taking action with it. It
Correct.
should be legalized, as we only know that Uttarakhand is the only state which has legalized the hemp cultivation.
Right.
Till my idea in being into this industry when I joined that I thought that maybe in 6 7 years I would be able to change the entire India with many states coming forward and starting hemp cultivation,
Right.
which still did not happen.
Right.
We need to understand that hemp is overall not more than valued at 50 crores, or that is also a very big number that I am talking.
Hmm.
So it is still at a very nascent stage.
Right.
And there are laws around it that need special recognitions, attention, and more advocacy for a government body to incorporate a team of members to study each and every detail.
Right.
That why we cannot scale this, why we cannot multiply the seeds and get 25,000 sustainable products out of it, why we cannot start exporting it now or maybe in a year or two.
Right.
So these are certain limitations that are also attached towards this industry. That is the reason no VC funds is currently flowing particularly. There were a lot of buzz around the hemp industry and the sector as well.
Correct.
But still, we need to realize that it all depends on the end raw material. Demand is huge.
Right.
I can, if we talk about the paper industry demand, it's still India imports 100% of its entire natural fiber, pulp, or textiles from foreign countries, which is valued more than 5,000 crores and maybe 25,000 tons of fiber each year.
Right.
Is natural fiber category. So
Right.
these are special areas of gaps which are already prevalent in our system.
Right. Right.
If we think that we will change the entire thing with hemp, then we are thinking way too much. I am not Mr. Bill Gates or Mr. Ambani to have been able to change that with my deep pockets.
Right. Right. Right.
So I think I need to execute practically what are my capabilities, who are all my friends that will be supporting me on this journey, and how what difference will I be able to make.
So the way Uttarakhand has executed hemp, right? They have a basic understanding of how to replicate that and just improve on it, right?
I would somehow differ on this. Uttarakhand also came up with a policy
Right.
by listening to few peoples.
Right.
There were already US and Europe markets which were emerging.
Hmm.
And following their trends, we started off with, yes, we'll start up with a hemp cultivation and policies around it.
Right.
And
Right.
there are seeds that needs to be first developed so
Right.
that you will be able to cultivate on a large scale.
Correct.
And when you talk about the seeds, there are certain limitations that was put on into the policy that the seeds cannot be of much of a value with more than 0.3% THC. If
Mm.
it is done, then the entire crop will be destroyed.
Mm.
We need to understand that again, India is an agronomic country. So there are farmers who are still growing each and every crop and they just buy the seeds from the market and grow it and get their money.
Right.
If you will give them any additional enclosures that if this product is way beyond this limit, then the entire product will be destroyed, there's a sense of fear in their mind always.
Right.
So they'll never choose this alternative crop, and this might be one of the reasons that India is still not being able to scale up the hemp cultivation anywhere.
Hmm. So the value chain is needs to be better defined so that the government becomes a part of that step towards the right product with the right kind of chemical mix, so that you get the right kind of results out of it.
Yes, maybe no, because there are some parts that is correct, some part that is needs more refinement and intellect towards it.
Correct.
As we see that Himachal Pradesh is also moving forward by seeing the past results, they are trying to better their what the mistakes were made in the Uttarakhand region.
Right.
But still, if there are certain things, we need to look it into two different perspectives. As I mentioned, why if you are growing it for medical purposes,
Right.
then the hilly regions and these places are okay. You can develop and multiply the seeds. But if you're looking for large scale industrial hemp cultivation for fiber purposes, you need large plains of land with automized farming
Right.
and multiple seeds around it.
Right. Right. Right.
So in India, right now, being there are other land varieties also available with us, which we call wild bhang or cannabis around it.
Right.
And the Indian or you say ICR or Indian Council for Agricultural Research or Ministry for Agriculture still does not has a mandate of hemp being relied as a natural fiber crop.
Right. Right.
So first thing is that the union government or the central government need to recognize hemp as a fiber crop, not hemp particularly as any hemp particularly, but as an allied fiber.
Right.
We had a allied fiber industry in India, which is managed by ICR and Ministry of Agriculture, and ICR Kraija called Institute, which is sent in Barakpur near Kolkata, is one of the only institute that recognizes natural fibers.
Right.
Hemp is just another natural fiber.
Yes, and if they define it that way, then obviously everything else starts moving in the right way for their policies as well.
Right. So if you just took to hemp, that yes, legalize hemp with these parameters, it's way too difficult for a normal person to understand and incorporate or take decisions.
Hmm. Hmm. Right. Right.
That is the reason many companies are into it, but keep on diversifying their business models again and now.
Opportunity market is very big. The opportunity of this is extreme if you want to look at the way things are being made and the way the demand is growing in every other place and how the kind of effort that it takes from majority of agricultural products, right? The amount of effort is also, I believe, in comparison to, for example, the wet agriculture, like water intensive grains, right? Like rice and everything. This is easier to make it scalable if the process of it is to be taken care of, right? The process of growing it, right? If you have the infrastructure in the right time ready, you can just do it at a very easy way of growing at a scale if you have the resources, right? The price of it is not as cumbersome and risky as compared to other agricultural things, which generally take more energy, water, resources, and individual involvement. This is more structured in that way, right? You can do indoors, you can do outdoors, you can do processes that are followed automatic farming and automated ways of doing things, right? So the opportunity is big. So I agree with you that the opportunity is big. Why not do it in the right way with good governance?
Opportunity in individual, each of the categories is also huge. As I talked, the paper industry itself imports around 12,000 crores of pulp every year. Textile industry imports 5,000 crores of natural fibers every year.
Right.
So if we call medicine, we import a lot of these other parameters which are still available. So hemp has an opportunity to make all these products better alternative product, cheaper product. But for that, scalable model should be there. And for scaling up hemp, we need the right knowledge and connect with the right people to
Right.
make it happen on a national level basis.
Right. Right.
Because still some part of the hemp is being controlled by the states, some part has been given power under the central government.
Right.
So there needs to be collaboration in both the cases for hemp particularly to grow. Otherwise, if we take it as a natural fiber for textiles, yes, it can be done. If we take it as a medicine for curing any kinds of disease, yes, it can be done, or any other alternative.
Right. Right. So give me an understanding of where your business is right now and where do you distribute your products and what is the volume of that and the profit and loss statements that you have, some numbers from there. What have you achieved? Give us some.
Right.
Yes.
So as we said that this is just an overview of the entire hemp industry what I gave you, but we are still our very focus is totally on paper and packaging related products.
Right.
Hemp being the primary material, raw material that we use, and that gives us edge over to finding our customers abroad and in India as well.
Right.
So we are one of the premier companies, or maybe one of the first in this category, to produce 100% hemp papers and get it into converted into different kinds of packaging products. Earlier, we started off with stationery and local products that can be used in day to day, such as business cards and these, to get a name, to guess, to get people understand what we do actually.
Mm.
Then we slowly moved on into the categories of making carton boxes or
Mm.
maybe different kinds of packaging boxes and value added products related to it.
Mm.
Because the paper industry, this is huge, and hemp plays a part in every you can use it from 50 or 10 GSM paper to
Right.
1000 GSM paper.
Okay,
And
so hemp
every
can help you make 10 GSM to 1000 GSM as well. So you can use it.
yes. So there are a lot of things that can be done. Anything which can be done from a tree based or a other alternative paper can be easily and better made with the hemp based paper.
Mm, correct.
So we also need to find our, because every 100 GSM changes a vertical. If you look it into the Indian paper industry center, particularly, there are mills and machines that only deals with 0 to 100 GSM. There are other companies dealing with 100 to 200.
Right.
But for us, being into the hemp paper particularly, there were demands from 10 GSM till 1000 GSM.
Right.
And being a small company into this, we had that was a challenge for us as well.
Mm.
So our focus particularly shifted on bags and things that a general startup or a hemp-based company require.
Right.
Supposedly for oils, hemp-based oils, we provide them with mono-carton packaging.
Okay.
For luxury hotels, we provide them with thank you cards and welcome envelopes and these kinds of other categories of paper products.
Right.
And it's a very niche market that we have to cater to, and a very price sensitive as well.
Right.
Because converting 100% hemp paper,
Mm.
you need to require import raw material from Europe, convert that it from some part in Gujarat, then convert a paper into from UP,
Right.
and then particularly convert the end product might be in Kolkata and then export it to Europe or any these.
Right.
So these are some of the important steps that a particular company like us needs to follow and take care of each of the processes.
Right. Right. So, being the competitive industry that is paper industry, right? The margins in paper industry are legendarily known that the margin is just 1 paisa, 2 paisa, and you just change the whole market, right? And in that market, how are you with hemp paper competing?
See, that is the reason we are just surviving over the time for the last 7 years.
Right.
We have been able to at least make sure that we survive the tough times till the time we do not get a scalable option or a hero product that can easily be scalable.
Right.
So this is what our idea.
Right.
Generally, coming back to your question, we can you repeat your question? What is the exactly
So basically, paper industry is
margins? Correct. Sorry. Yes.
margin. Yes.
So we need to. The general paper is being sold at 50 rupees kg. Just giving you an idea. Whereas our costing or our end product price would have been somewhere around 300 rupees kg.
Right.
So this is the difference that we are sitting at. For Indian, it's a very price sensitive market. So we all look after if you have any better product, innovative product, and you can give it to me at 49 or not. If no, then you are just out of the league.
It's a price
So
con.
that
It has always.
very price conscious market. So that took us the advantage, maybe focusing on the European and the markets where hemp is already a legalized commodity and a product.
Right.
So these people under and have a good range of hemp businesses.
Right.
They have a great value added product such as oil, which values even 1,000 rupees a liter product. So for them, using a 35 rupees mono carton box for their 1,000 rupees product will not make a much of a difference in terms of pricing, but will give them a better sustainability option because our paper is totally tree free, chemical free, sustainable, and carbon wise, it's much less polluting, whatever. So
Right.
this was the idea, and our focus was very niche and finding these sustainable businesses across in different continents.
Right. Right.
Very glad to say that yes, right now we have been operating and have around more than 1,000 clients in more than around 35 countries,
Right. Right.
which we are catering to over the past 3 4 years. Revenue wise, we are still at a very nascent stage because the produce that we need to make is very small
Mm. Mm.
due to different challenges, and it is you cannot keep the entire stock from 0 or 10 cent gsm to 1,000 gsm, as we are not that a big company. We also have limited resources. So these are the, and we do not get any outside funds on any vc to now scale up this model. So
Mm.
now we have a model that yes, whatever the we see that yes, this category of papers can be easily sold in the next 6 to 8 months. We have to make manufacture it advance with different planning.
So can your value chain support? So can you value chain support if a VC fund wants to invest in you? Can current situation of your value chain from upstream and downstream, can it handle the investment that it gets? Are you ready for investment?
See, if the VC will only be focused that you have to do the entire thing make in India, then no, we are not ready.
Okay.
But yes, globally wise, we are in a position that we can scale up our built model to a certain level, which
Right.
is also in crores and must be a good around 1,000 tons. So this much market we have, and already by dealing with so many customers by over so many years, we have a data of exactly the people who require what, and their quantities also increases over time, and they are very loyal to the product what they are getting, because that is the only niche product that is available. Other
Right.
than that, there are no other alternatives that is available. If you find other sources of paper in sustainable, you get either tree free and these categories, but hemp produces one of the finest and the strongest papers available
Which can actually
because of.
literally replace the normal paper in a better way than the others categories, right? So sometimes the quality of the paper that comes out of other sustainable ways of making paper does not match it does not have the power to replace the traditional, right? So
Yes.
yeah, 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 yeah.
The
So
idea is that hemp is the strongest natural fiber. And when we pass on the properties to the end product, just imagine if we make a pulp board or a carton that
right,
Amazon uses with a hemp fiber and completely, then the strength is much higher. You
right,
require lesser GSM, reducing the weight of the entire product
right.
with the same category or a better category of strength that can be provided. So
So
this is the benefit overall we are talking about.
correct. So from a benefit point of view, there is obviously hemp is a blue ocean that needs to be explored in India, right? Apart from that, looking at the whole value chain, right? So when you said if we are talking about the whole value chain, we are right now not only made in Bharat, right? So what are you all other? So what is in your value chain coming from other countries? So one is the demand side is obviously not because of the price point. You are on the downstream. You are looking at other countries to be your major buyers, right? From the upstream, what is the product that comes into as a raw material? At what stage are you becoming your company working in India contributing? So, what is the thing that is coming from outside or something?
So hemp industry, as I mentioned, that requires a lot of raw materials that needs to go into the end products.
Right,
And we are still not cultivating hemp.
right,
If you want to measure any industry, if we can find out what are the total amount of raw material that can available in that, India is still not growing more than 100 hectares or maybe that entire region
right,
that can hardly produce any raw material.
right,
One paper mill produces or requires around 400 tons of pulp every day to process and to make viability.
right,
Where current production in India, if this pulp of entire hemp is not in a year, if we talk about, is not more than 50 tons.
right,
So this is the gap that we are talking about. There's no point that yes, hemp is better, but we have supply chain disruption is totally exist. So
Right.
we have to import the raw material, which is the fibers from the places where cultivation is legal
Right.
and it's already increasing over time, such as France, Germany, these places have China. So they
Right.
never stop cultivating and they are overall every year increasing the acreage.
Right. Right.
If so, for increasing the hemp flow in India, we need more and more larger areas of cultivation.
Right.
And to increase those cultivation, we need larger amount of seeds.
Hmm.
So to meet these seeds, there must be some nodal agency to multiply these seeds for farmers and produce it on a large scale level,
Hmm.
which is still not happening currently.
So for your business, you if something comes in as investment for you, you are ready to create those value chain additions from other countries, and you have the visibility and you have the understanding that these supply chains can be built very easily for you, right? So is that the truth of the day, or will it also need your business to little bit pivot in a way to get the whole thing to be sorted out from the supply chain to you, if I'm able to make you understand?
No, exactly the same way that you mentioned. If we are able to get some resources, then we'll be able to scale up our business model that we are doing it for the last 3, 4 years to reach it to a certain next level. I
Right.
may not stay to the extreme level that we have planned.
You might
And
need support
parallelly,
in those ecosystems, right? So you need
yes.
supply chain support to understand which supply chain should be the least pricing and most efficient for me. That support also you might need.
So when we started off with paper, we produced around 200 different kinds of products.
Right.
We even did bags like this.
Right.
Yes. We even did cartons like this. So
Okay.
every other product is the same vertical and requires a special attention on each of the categories. If you are selling a bag, you need to find out the people who require bags. If you are selling cartons, you require people who are only buying cartons.
Right.
So this is altogether a huge market. For
Right.
us, we have identified many products in each of the categories.
Mm.
But due to our limitations, we are not able to cater to the niche market available in each of the categories. We
Right.
are only doing our bit that we are capable of, and that what we are getting in terms of our resources.
Right.
So at least in that particular segment of sustainable packaging, hemp-based packaging, 100% hemp paper packaging, tree-free packaging, and paper, there's a lot of market that we can cater to.
Right.
So this is one thing. Again, parallelly, we are also into the ecosystem of taking things forward in terms of government controls, in terms of taking different policies, in terms of drafting the policies with the state governments, in terms of other natural fibers as well, which is being parallelly being explored.
Right. Right. So give me an understanding of last year's filing for your company. So what was your annual revenue? What was your profitability numbers? Give me some understanding. Your numbers, nothing else.
Right. So if you talk about our OG Hemp numbers, we went to a revenue of around 28 lakhs for the last financial year,
Right. Right.
which was 80% of was export oriented revenues.
Correct.
So still, as I mentioned, there were different small orders, and but we had a database which has been captured with more than 400 clients, expanding to more than 25 countries with this revenue.
Right.
So in the first go, not every client will give you an order book of this and this amount, where they will also judge you how much you can supply.
Right.
But right now we have an order book that can easily be for a 10 million to execute. But we
Right.
are not in the position, or maybe from the fund structure with the raw material, as we need to plan all these things in advance. We
Right.
need to book the next year cultivation to get this much of raw material, then plan it to convert it into this much of product.
Mm.
And once that is being done, are easily the things we can able to increase our revenue in that categories.
Right. So your capability, the demand, and your current profitability, I've understood kind of in a soft approach. I've understood what your product stands at, right? So what motivated you to enter this hemp industry overall? Though you have told me that there was some demand coming in for hemp, and so what made you align? So as a founder, why did you align with the vision of building something from the agritech kind of a business, from a brewery business, and then going to this and then moving into, okay, now this industry needs my push?
See, in the brewery industry, we had opened one outlet in Sector 5 and
Right.
had a vision that we need to use a very capital intensive industry and that even made profitable once you go for national level scaling. But we got a good deal, and this hemp industry then kicked in just now, where we got a huge opportunity, particularly in the hemp industry. When we see there are different products that could be possibly made, and the entire idea was there was no other player, particularly doing and solving the real problem. So
Mm.
that made us enter into the hemp industry, finding the niche product, and started exploring it into deep. When we went deep, then we found out that yes, paper industry exists, and this product, if we replace it with tree-free paper, is one of the ideal candidates in using hemp as a raw material.
Right.
If we are way too focused on the hemp, so maybe paper, textiles, and these are one of medical, one of the particular industries that will grow once the hemp industry grows. So these are the top runners. So we chose paper as already there were no other players and there was zero competition in Indian and abroad. But right now there are many other players who have started kicking it.
Right. Right.
Might be left behind because of our geographical locations, as if we are again importing raw material, converting it to a second place, to a third place, we also add up cost.
Right.
Right. Once you do up in a scalable model, then at the end it's your then trap.
Mm.
So I may not be giving you all the good things about the hemp. There are certain very devastating things also that has a many individuals, companies that have entered into this industry with the particularly hemp being focused into it have shut down.
Right.
And very companies have got a few outside funding and still trying to run in the game. But still hemp exists and stays where it was with the same status quo way back in 2018.
So, what is your analysis of why do other people fail? So, the people who have failed, what could be your understanding of why they must have failed in the industry? Right? Passing is something that they are pushing through either funding or they have some resources that are already sorted for them. Right? For failing is something that gives us an understanding of what are the caveats for the industry not to go into those directions. Right? So, what is your understanding? What is your analysis? Why are they failing?
The major idea that I would say that why people fail, particularly in the hemp industry, is not being able to pivot. You have an excellent idea, you have an excellent execution, but if things don't line up in your manner, you
Yeah.
still need to find a way to survive. If you're not able to survive, you get depressed and then you get lost. So
Hmm.
the idea is to, if you want to stay in the game, you need to survive and start walking. And once you walk a certain mile, then there are other options available. Then there are other options available. So there are people focused only on medical part. There are people focused only on the fiber part and very passionate about the hemp, even passionate than anyone else in the entire world, or maybe that kind of people.
Hmm.
But still, they need to shut down at the end. The hemp industry is not growing. There are other parameters that is pulling it down.
Okay.
So if you are trying to solve out the problem, supposedly for a tree-free paper,
Right.
so that can also be done from bamboo. That can also be done from other alternative sources. If you are doing it for textiles, that can also be done for flax.
Right.
So these are other alternatives that you need to find out that why did the first place that you started this? Was it only for hemp or was it for the problem that actually you are seeing? That yes, textile is being there is imports being happening. So you need to find out that real problem and try to solve it and deep dive. So
Right.
when then main our pivoting thing happened that when we found out yes, we are trying to solve out a problem of import substitution.
Hmm.
So yes, India imports so much and we have other natural fibers available with us.
Right.
such as ag, which has also not even kick-started his journey in the entire model.
Right.
Being into the natural fiber segment player, it was easy for us to pivot and shift towards other natural fibers as well and start from 0 to 1.
Okay.
Because again, taking it from 0 to 1, ideating it and taking it to a scalable model that it can be as done takes time, because it is a real commodity product that needs to be done, agriculture that needs to be set in place. You need to get the output, cut it, and then convert it into an end product.
Mm. So when you pivoted, so what all other sustainable supplies that you started using for the industry that you're in?
Our focus was in starting, we were into the hemp particular industry and which made paper. So we gave it an concept of being into the natural fiber industry segment,
Right.
which natural fiber comes under a broader horizon, which also includes other natural fibers such as hemp, bamboo, flax,
Right.
jute, you call it, or cotton. Cotton is again a different industry to exclude cotton, but remaining other allied fibers.
So you have
And what
you have pivoted into those categories, and you also have also added those categories to your supply chain.
with hemp, we are still running very nicely with selling paper and packaging products with one of our teams totally focused towards it.
Amazing.
But being also into the natural fiber segment, we have pivoted towards starting up with cultivation of other natural fiber crops, which was a challenge with hemp particular in our case.
Right.
We found out if we are not able to cultivate hemp in a larger area acreage, then this industry will not grow. So what are the other options available to us? We found out other alternative, which is again a useful crop,
Mm.
and started cultivating it, creating supply chain around it. If you want to stay, basically, we are trying to create a basic and steady supply chain with the first of its kind, completely homegrown model, which can import substitute the existing product in the coming years.
Right. So there is one thing that I am observing is to be resilient currently in your circumstance and your context, right? India context. It is the resilience part is pivot, right? If you want to resiliently build something in this industry, in paper industry, you need to pivot fast because of the different market side forcing you to tell you that either you export in a category or you compete with the products that are already there in the market and then become profitable as well, right? So in that way you have to pivot to be resilient in this kind of an industry, which is breakneck competition in the normal category, and the other category you need to pivot in supply chains. You need to do a lot of work from there, which you have already understood how to do. So that is your moment where you are standing in the middle, creating that. Obviously, in the future, your demand will define if the name stays OG Hemp. I'm just joking about it. Is the name stays OG Hemp or it becomes the OG Paper Wala or whatever way you want to put it, right?
OG fiber wala, or maybe any fiber related products. So that is, we didn't, we got a very catchy name, no doubt about it, OG hemp.
Yes.
So anyone who sees this OGM first gets a great attention, and that time it was easily available way back in 2018. So we did all the compliances. But yes, our focus again, as I said, that yes, we did a step back and focused on the natural fiber segment game.
Right.
If we only if hemp was our main roti kapda makan, then abhi tak se to hum log ho gaye hote barbad. So that is something that we need to pivot and understand. If we are given it years and years, and if it still doesn't work out, you need to shift your focus towards other things and does not best.
Generally, in this, that's a case where you are seeing that the demand and everything and your sustainability is dependent on some change in the branding. From the branding side, generally people don't change the name. What they do is they divide businesses into two and then put a parent business on top, right? That way, structuring it so that your brand, which is already in the market, is not affected by the change that has happened with the other brand. So it should not affect the demand for this brand. right? The everything becomes that way, kind of structuring the brand in that way. So they make a pyramid out of it. A parent company holds and
I would also say that yes, if we are very famous in the US market, we are very famous in the Australian market because over there people use our products and they understand what we are giving it to them.
correct.
Where we are not right now in India, we are not be known by many people because we haven't sold them their end product.
I believe this problem that you're facing, once these conversations get out and go into the thing, I believe very big in the thought of, once a thought is out, it can move into a reality very soon, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, somebody else will make it a reality. And in both cases, if somebody else is also making it a reality, it is good for you as well. So this is where your thought comes out and becomes that movement towards that. And I think this problem of yours not getting the kind of supply chains from India itself is because of the lack of movement in that direction in a structured way by the government. And I think this is a contextual near term problem. So it is a 2 to 3 year problem that this is still having a blockage in terms of the policies not going towards the hemp side, because competition always makes India move in the direction of what the competition is telling them, right? And that generally happens. And I believe this is a 2 to 3 year problem that you have to sustain through. This is my
When we started in 2018, we thought that by 2025, we would be changing the entire scenario, but we couldn't. And we still think that, yes, with the hemp to scale up, even government, we had meetings with senior ministers and the union cabinet ministers, state ministers, and they also have some valid point which none of us consider. They say, which industry do you belong?
right.
We said that yes, will belong to the import. We want our problem gap is to import, substitute the pulp that we are already importing and make it through tree-free based hemp paper pulp.
Right.
So why not you do an other related alternative products which are legalized already in India? These pulp can be easily made from kinaf crop, which is a parallel crop and legalized, which still has available seeds and larger area of cultivation, which has similar properties. If you say that you belong to medical industry, they'll still give you the compounds which is easily available with other alternatives in other Ayurvedic plants. It's just not hemp. So these are the deep driven technical things that every entrepreneur also should understand. And there is a gap in each of the categories. So first try to fill in that gap if you are really focused with building your startup.
Right. And that is kind of a very logical point. If there is a replacement in the same category of yours, why not have that also in your supply chain and just move forward? Either define it. So we always have that problem of, in which industry definition do you come in, right? And obviously that is what, if you want to fight for it, should be a number of people in your industry to become an association and take that as a signatures or some call for action to the Parliament of India, right? If it does not reach the Parliament of India as a group of people, then obviously the best approach is to, the way he has told you in the union cabinet minister or whoever you've met and who's given you this idea, why not pivot a little and just do that way, and do group of things that make your demand side happy because you're able to give the supply chain which is already sorted.
Yes, they told one of the great things which I'd like to mention that you are still not Mukesh Ambani that you want to change the entire world. Think about a smaller problem. Don't think about the 12,500 crore का import substitute. वो बड़े होने के बाद आप कर सकते हो. अभी आपको और उसको छोटा करो और छोटा में define करो. First try to do that.
Correct.
As an cannot change the deforestation problem being a startup just today. You need to define your goals very clearly for that how you will be able to survive in the next few months.
Right.
So in our case, we talk about the next few months rather than few years because every other. So we are now focused on other alternatives, as I said, that yes, and doing our bit. Hemp is definitely one of the pieces and the segments that we love to cater. But yes, we believe that again it will take few years for hemp particularly to scale up, and then we should be in a position to grab the opportunity that where we are located particularly.
Mm.
and you're keep on struggling and hustling in this category as well.
Yeah, but it's also a very good challenge to have in this moment for you because you've already understood what the problem is and you have understood where the supply chains can be created for the alternative.
Right.
Only thing is, so for example, if somebody was to invest in your startup, right, at this moment, you are actually getting better ready if you structure it in a way that you start saying that these are my product lines. What I'm asking as a investment is from the parent company which holds these product lines. If you put it that way, the structure for a thought of someone who's wanting to invest in you can look at that number and say, okay, now it makes sense. There is a paper industry that you deal with. Sustainable paper industry is what you are amazingly catering to. It might
Right.
not be from hemp, but it can be from bamboo. It can also be from other sources. And then you can create that value for them, right? In the end, the investor will obviously, you also know, you've been in the market, you've tried a lot of things, you've got some grants from the government. At that moment also you must have thought, yeah, these are the grants, I want to move to some VC capital or some debt venture fund so that they take a part in my business and become a part of my business and grow me that way, right? So what are the kind of so in that moment, if the structure for a return for that venture capitalist is not there, right, then he might say that, okay, I'll wait for it. This is what
Right.
people say. Everyone wants to wait for the other startups, right? This is a very important thing. They don't say no to everything on the first day. In the end, everyone is there for money, right? If I'm
Yes.
investing in you, I'm asking that, okay, 3x my returns and at least 60% of your effort or 50% of your effort you put in your startup. Even then, if I'm able to get some upside from a normal FD or a mutual fund, I'm okay,
Right.
right? Even in an FD, people agree to it, right? So even an FD return on their investment is fine with them. In the end, they say that I created something sustainable. Somebody worked for me and he made something sustainable. I could stay with him and I could get an exit out of it, right?
Oh, yes.
You are going in the right direction. I think you are doing a very good job. You started, you hustled so much, and I understand that you're coming from an industry which needs a very big push. Hemp in India is a very big opportunity. You can't leave it. So, from my angle, you can't leave that opportunity and just go to the alternative. You have to keep that brand and keep working at it. But obviously, there has to be an alternative that funds that hustle that you're having with the original thing, right?
Yeah, every we when we were very active in trying to find funds once, and we had a call with almost all the VCs in India and global as well. Many of them.
What was their opinion? Yeah,
Everyone had their idea what is the next target that you will be targeting. So I be into the 100% hemp paper category. That time our target was yes, we would next year we do 1,000 tons.
right,
1,000 tons मतलब अगर आप पेपर कर रहे हो तो you need 1,000 tons of pulp. तो
right.
उसके लिए 1,000 tons of at least raw material. So how would that come? Where would that come?
Yeah.
सर वो तो कल्टीवेशन करना होगा वहीं पर ही जाके दैट वाज द ओनली चैलेंज
Hmm.
now our idea is कि इसीलिए no VC could ever fund because they know that yes this kind of cultivation and target what we talk about requires a lot of revolution in agri in terms of hemp in terms of policies and these categories.
Hmm.
But now what we see that yes, even including 10% of hemp fibers, which is available right now in the total entire market,
Right.
can replace the product in a better strength, can help the product engineer to a better quality. And 90% can be other natural fibers for which supply chain exists,
Right.
making it more economical, making it more better product. So this is where now we are focusing on.
Which is a very good focus for you, and I think you are going in the right direction. That is my understanding of it, and I think it is the right understanding because in the end you have to support the hustle and you have to support the movement towards the regulation to happen, which I believe there is a lot of problems that people have that, okay, is it the right time to leave this business and move to another one? But always I have found out whenever you have done that decision on your own, you have lost a market that which grew just after when you left. So
This
the best approach is to let it be there, grow with your own team that structures itself in the whole game, and then have an alternative product that also builds parallelly. That is the hustle, that is the next level hustle that you have to do. Otherwise, your product will be only hemp, and hemp has to sustain itself out. Right? Is that
But there are days that makes this hustle very difficult, being able to survive in very limited resources, but that's okay. We are a team very much into this. We are three co-founders that
exactly?
are totally devoted 24/7, and we only talk. We know only hemp, particularly. We are very passionate about this overall crop. So, and being into the paper, we are very passionate about
I agree.
learning new things. We never knew how to sell a paper because we never sell a paper or box. But once you see a 100% paper, the first day when it was made with different things, then that moment was something very different. Yeah, you have created something what others couldn't. This was long existed, but this is one of the finest
Hmm.
carbon efficient paper that one can produce.
Correct.
So this is the categories that we have and cater, but yes, scaling up this requires a lot of resources, time, patience,
Right.
and obviously our focus is to survive. We are surviving for the last 7, 8 years, and we are sure that we will survive for the coming 100 years as well.
Yes. And that is the attitude I think you already have, because you've already started from 2018 and this is 2025 you're sitting in, right?
Surviving 7 years into the hemp industry is way too much. There are a lot of companies that started after us now have been shut down. There are a lot of companies who even started before us have shut down. And there are many other people who are turning in. So, but yes, this is the attention that we get. But no doubt about that, hemp gives you larger attention because you are already a player and doing a lot of things. But there's also a lot of education that needs to be done and information that
How is
needs
your
to be
cash
provided.
situation? So let's get into your cash situation. Are you cash positive, month on month, or are you spending from your own expenses? What is happening? What is the current scenario?
So,
Operation.
so to give you an overview, we have been funded and supported by some of the central government funds, Startup India Seed Fund. We have got different grants run the RKBY Raftar scheme, Nidhi Prayas scheme, and so on. So this is the financial benefits that we got.
Right.
This is a great thing, I must say, that it helps you, gives you the zeal and motivation, and then obviously gives you the real cash
Right.
which makes pay for your groceries. So we also have a team of other people who are actively into the whole business, and our focus is also from the paper sector and diversifying into other segments as well. We still are into advocating hemp, why it should be legalized, and creating policies. So that also take away a lot of resources from our side.
Hmm.
Comparing the paper business, we are still able to survive and make neck to neck profits by selling a good amount of monthly revenues, which helps us to survive the team that we are focusing on.
Hmm.
But overall, we are a negative cash flow company by investing, bootstrapping the entire thing year over year,
Hmm.
just to create and build the legacy that we are trying to, just by advocating things that we are already focused on, by creating other natural fiber segments and taking it to a level where it can be easily VC funded.
Hmm.
Where these all struggles are also parallelly being done together.
Right. Getting cash positive is one more thing that I think you should try on a monthly basis, that you return the cash to be there, right? Even if the profit and loss statement is loss making, I would recommend to see your cash situation and make the cash situation more efficient. I think this is a problem. It is a chicken and egg story every time you enter into it. So, for example, a good guy at a good price, how can I leave him when there is a, cash situation that needs to be solved, right? One of the issues that every startup faces, right? He's contributing so good, right? Can he go into equity models? If he's not interested, then how will you deal with that, right? So either from the demand side, you need to increase the demand, or from the cost side, you need to reduce costs of everything that is inefficient in your company, and just make it cash positive, because in the end, grants go to up to a point. I have seen businesses in my ecosystem also collapse after grants ended because they didn't understand what the consumer was wanting.
Right.
Just moving from what their product was, and I have cash today. So I can think of just keeping it going to every place and just try my best to just reach the customer and make him educated about it as well. From the customer side, education is the biggest challenge. From the producer
Yes.
side, I think the easiest for your industry to just get it through, right? So this challenge is to become cash positive, even if you're not profitable. If you're cash positive, if something is left in your pocket at the end of the month and you are becoming break even, you might have that happiness that can we now move to the next step. To do that, I believe the happiness is what creates the value for a business, right? And then what you should definitely do is, I think to get the cash positive is your major point. Now, how do you do it is something that you know your business better than I do. You might win over me when you say that I am differentiating my product and adding some categories by having some other supply chains. But that will be valuable for you in the end because cash is something that you should achieve. I for my businesses, so I have two businesses here, right? So I have a real estate kind of older business that keeps on running.
Mm-hmm.
As the point happened from the point where the co-working business became cash negative, I used to
Mm-hmm.
be very brutal about it.
Okay.
In the middle of the journey, I'm 9 years old in the co-working thing, and I'm bootstrapped till now, right?
Mm.
Key co-working spaces in Delhi NCR, and I'm growing.
Right.
Reach that point, was the only focus I had was, am I cash positive in this month?
Okay. Right.
The focus was cash positive. I was not profitable in the first 5 years or 4, 5 years, right? But
Hmm.
always cash positive.
Yes.
Business should have cash in it. The happiness should come back to me that I am getting my salary out and there is cash in it.
Right.
Your salary is the last salary that comes out in your mind, right? As a businessman, it is the only last salary that you take, right? If that salary comes out and you still have some cash in the bank, right?
Right.
Audit the thing.
Yes.
From 1,000 rupees in the beginning, right? So first year, 5,000 rupees left in the bank. I used to say, "Oh my God, will I survive?" I said, "Yeah, yeah, I will survive because 1,000 rupees is there. Customer is coming next month and paying me more, right?" So that is where the whole game is. So pleasure to have you. You are handling a very great product in its own self. You are putting a lot of pressure on yourself and your team, and your structure is coming through. I see that there is a thought behind it. You are passionate about hemp. And I think the policy decisions will automatically slowly change. This message of ours will be seen by a number of state ministers as well. So let's see
Yeah.
how that conversation goes. But I don't know, right? In the end, it's more about the policy side, and you have to become a group. This is my end point from the hemp industry. The competition needs to be aligned together as well, right?
No doubt about it. I think that's a wonderful idea. We are still a group, but there are very limited people who are focused on one particular thing. Whereas in hemp, there are so many products, so every company try to diversify in all the things. So
Correct.
this is the general problem. But I must congratulate and thank you particularly to taking up this job as taking Saharse also that yes, this is some kind of advocacy what we need for the Indian ecosystem to things to bloom. And yes, this
Industry has a lot of opportunity. And India is known for that opportunity to be there, right? So if there is a scale that can be reached, it can only be reached in India. If you look at the percentage of the total economy that comes to the agriculture side, right? The opportunity is very big.
obviously, yes. As I said, na, that there is 12,500 crore ka import substitution is just a gap. Just imagine in one paper industry, which is still
Will able
in
to
India.
make out of it. The government will earn so much out of it.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So opportunity is to ekdam say it's a ocean or it's a hujum, but yes, we are trying to be our part by adding some drops of water. Might we will be big very soon in coming time with all your help and friendships. But yes, this is the case, surviving and be able to survive for the next years as well.
Right. So I will share with me the picture of those two samples that you showed on the video. I will tell them to integrate it in the video itself. I will also ask you for a presentation. If you have a presentation of your product, if of your company, please send that presentation. I will spread it across and let's see where it goes. Right.
We have a range of different categories of products of catalogs that we'll be sharing it with you. Along with the different-
presentation of your product presentation, if you have any product presentation. So your product presentation from a mentor side or a product person who can just look at it and see if I can tell them in some way in that direction, right? So I know some people in the paper industry, right? Now they are the traditional paper industry which you are competing against, but because they are through my network, maybe they might be open to help you out and just understand it better or have a conversation. Every conversation is good, right?
Yes, yes, for sure. Or that will be also very helpful.
Yes, yes.
That will also be very helpful.
Amazing, amazing, Shailesh. It was a pleasure having you on our podcast. And we will be sharing with you this podcast in the next 3 to 5 days. This will be live. One day before, you'll be told that this is going to be live tomorrow. Okay. I'll give you a friend request on LinkedIn. Just accept my friend request and you will be able to get my ecosystem and everything, right? So you will be able to see it more also, your videos, right?
Thank you so much and taking the voluntarily thing to take up this matter and particularly calling us on your show. It was a real pleasure to talk about the real problems and the challenges and definitely the opportunities that
This
exist.
is the right time. This is the right time to talk. Yes. Yeah.
Very positive. Thank you so much for having us, Arjun. It was a pleasure and we'll meet again soon. And I'll share my product videos and those related documents with you very soon.
Yes, yes. Nice to.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day, you too. Bye.
Thanks for tuning into Impact Tech Studio. If Shailesh's journey with OG Hemp inspired you, subscribe and share for more founder first stories on sustainable supply chains and much more.